Now you don't find chalk here though.
We find we're really fortunate. This mine is, I feel, is very unique in that, there's kind of guesstimations of how much chalk comes out, how much mid-grade, low-grade, high-grade. And one thing about our mine is that the stone, even the lower grade color, the lighter color, is very hard turquoise. And I think also on our highest end turquoise, it's so silicated in here. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's from the volcanics picking up, that extra silica or what, but our highest grade, it's like glass. I mean, it's very translucent and hard. I haven't tested the molds, but if you put a flashlight behind it, a thick piece nugget is translucent, which I think is very rare. And so when we get even our lower grade color, it takes a beautiful polish because of how hard it is. And so in terms of true chalk, they talk about there being, lower grade turquoise coming out. We don't.
You don't find it.
We're on the other end of the spectrum where most mines are a lot of chalk and then a little bit of high grade. We don't run that chalk as much. We're
you just get a lot of mid-grade.
Yeah,
hard mid-grade.
Yeah, hard mid-grade.
You got to move a lot of rock to find a little bit of turquoise.
That's why it's so exciting when you do find some blue down in that stuff, and you just go, "There it is!" Yeah, you start just.
It's gold fever.
Yeah,
it's gold fever.
It literally is.
Here's some examples.
It's blue gold fever.
Blue gold fever.
Here's some samples of kind of how it was coming out in different places.
In the slate and the volcanic.
Got a sprayer on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so down there in the very bottom where.
See, and these are more of a nugget thing.
And just about the time you actually find turquoise, like I said, now we move into
this could be a nugget like that,
or
pieces of it.
And these have to be tumbled out.
You don't know if there's well, what do you call that? That's a nugget.
This is a piece of parent material, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Host
material. And you can see in the cracks and stuff, there's these small nuggets. They're forming in the cracks.
Oh, I got you.
Here's a nugget that's running. There was probably another piece of dirt here. There's a very thin nugget here. This is probably a nugget that's welded in here. This is,
forming in those.
So if you tumble this and continue to agitate it and tumble it,
it'll break.
The harder turquoise will eventually grade out of this material.
So you do that rather than try to go in there and slice it.
Yeah, sometimes we saw it if it's more obvious. Other times I'll continue to tumble it even at home.
Well,
see, there's a perfect example of a nugget that would be just
forming. Yeah,
that's forming, and that would break off the host rock and. That would be like solid inside turquoise.
And you might, if you slab that, it could still be small nuggets just welded in there, or it could be a larger.
Or if
you cut wrong, you just cut through the nugget.
It could be. You never know with turquoise. It could be a spider webby looking vein going through the whole thing.
And when we're mining, imagine we find this piece with one little piece of blue on it. And we tumble it, and this is hidden completely inside of it.
Yeah,
so it's like, go find that.
Yeah,
that's what you're up against.
Stuff like this, you pop it in half. I mean, we found like nuggets inside that. You just never know where it's gonna be.
Yeah. So
this mine is. It's a bunch of surprises, that's for sure.
It's surprises, but then it gets magical when it happens.
When you see the turquoise. But Jesse's in a unique situation where he digs it from out of the ground to the turquoise through all the steps into his jewelry.
So Jesse, you're going to be the cutter.
I cut a lot of the turquoise here, and then we also have a couple
other people because it's too much.
Yeah.
All right, Jesse, where are we now?
This is what I think is where the Gilberts originally camped and lived when they first started prospecting.
So we just came up the hill from the mine.
Yep. And right here you can see some remnants of some old just disturbed earth and trash, historic trash. A privy, those uprights are old privy, and then some roof tops. And this is just where I think that the Gilberts originally lived.
Because there's a spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I've been up here and it's been dry. dry winter.
Very dry winter, yeah.
But yeah,
There's the old spring. Would come up. This was just underground spring.
Yeah, this just naturally feeds. There's several in the area
Yeah.
that produce good water. And
Yeah.
it's sweet water. It's actually
See
really,
the grass all around there, but yeah, it's all dried out.
Yeah, usually this time of year, you know.
Well, I see it now. I see that petroglyph.
Yeah, and so,
Kinda jumps out.
92, so that's even earlier than they attribute the Gilberts having the turquoise. So this is early. You know, this petroglyph puts them there earlier than a lot of the records indicate they were in the area. The limited amount of literature, I feel. So HLG 1892, and I think that's Herman and Logan Gilbert.
Works for me. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Very cool.
I mean, you know, and that's why I wonder. It's like, how old were those guys when they were up here running around with their dad? And then years later, after they lost the claim, or they sold the claim, and then the Denver Gem and Mineral, or Gem Company, had the claim, and then or maybe it was vice versa. But eventually, some 20 years later, the Herman and Logan come back out to take over and start trying to mine the turquoise mine again. So something drew them back here, and so I almost like to think maybe they were younger, and then, you know, they were going to go give that turquoise another shot that their dad found, or they remember when they were kids. You know, it's kind of, I'd like to try to figure that timeline out a little tighter, especially with their age when they were here carving in that rock.
Well, I'll take a look for you and I'll see what I find out.
Yeah.
Boy, amazing country.
Yeah.
We are on the homestead site here, and Jesse pointed out something. We're walking around. We're not disturbing anything, archaeological site, but we sure want to look at it and annotate it, because what he's pointing down to down there is, I'll get down there and point that out again so we can, want to make sure I can see it.
Yeah, right here.
Right there.
Cheyenne turquoise. Or at the time,
Cheyenne turquoise.
would have been the
Cheyenne hidden
Valley. Hidden treasure.
Berry.
And there's another one right up there. Point that out so we can see it.
Right here.
Yeah, right there.
So right there, and that's their,
Right.
right there in our log here. Look at that blue.
So
It's been sitting on the surface for 120, well, longer,
Okay.
100,
point that out again. It's right. Yeah.
you know, nuggets all running.
All through here, little nuggets. But Jesse, you said you thought that 1892 predates the first location of the hidden treasure, but
Well,
that would make sense. They're up here, they're by the water, they're
Yeah.
finding the turquoise, and then that's what led them to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just what I've seen in the literature, and I might, you know, obviously I haven't found all the literature. I haven't done an extensive enough record search, but
Well, that's my job.
the overview kind of the stuff that has been written kind of puts it at 90.
There's some of that greasy green.
1897. It's not 1892. I mean, that to me seems earlier. So
Well, I know where you can look for that. When you do that research, I would start with the Great American Turquoise, Rush.
I know there's a really good book on that. Straight out to the kind of the south, but mostly west, are the White Mountains. The ones covered in snow.
Yeah.
And those are the highest peaks in Nevada.
Oh, the far distance.
Yeah, far out there.
See the snow?
Is the white?
The White Mountains. And just over to the right of them is Bishop.
Still
on the
got
other
snow
side.
on them.
And
Yeah.
this is still the continuation of the Monte Cristo range running through this hill country. So,
But this range right over here, this shorter
Monte
one,
Cristo.
that's all Monte Cristo.
Yep. And then to the right, way over there, you're starting to get into the Candelaria Hills, where those clouds are shadowing way out there. And then the
out-
Sierras are the farthest. Barely see them.
Yeah.
You can see the foothill, those actual Sierras.